Coming up tonight on Primetime Local News. Lloydminster applies for federal infrastructure grants. And more on the upcoming annual Good Deeds Cup. Plus, we check out the weekly Lloydminster Concerned Citizens meeting.
Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Lloydminster is looking to tackle the high expenses of infrastructure in the city by applying for a federal grant. Lloyd Council has submitted an application to Infrastructure Canada for just over $2 million over the next 5 years. The grant is designed to focus on a city's active transportation options.
To encourage the development of trails, bicycle lanes, and things like that. So this is an excellent opportunity for our city to take advantage of something that we often hear about. People are looking for the ability to be healthier. One of those is to be able to walk on a desiccated trail, sidewalk, path that you're not competing with motor vehicles, as we heard from Councillor Lopez during the meeting.
In order to receive the requested funds, Lloydminster must commit 40% towards the total project costs.
This will give us an opportunity to enhance our community. Again, it is a grant. We have to apply and hopefully be selected. But for us to submit the application, the Government of Canada is saying, are you prepared to commit if we approve it? And that's what Council was given the task today to do and did.
Lloydminster has submitted their full grant application and are waiting for a response from Infrastructure Canada. The Lloydminster Concerned Citizens for Seniors Care Society had a guest speaker from Onion Lake at their weekly meeting today. Health Director Albert Jimmy of the Onion Lake Health Board discussed Onion Lake's new detox programming. Jimmy believes in the program, but adds prevention is the best strategy to curb drug and alcohol addiction.
We recently opened a detox programming, which is good for 15 bed, but now we have to really zero in on the prevention side. What really is happening for these clients that need this kind of, a treatment, which is good to treat them, but I think we need to hit home more early for the young people.
Jimmy believes many of the addiction issues are caused by the legacy of trauma for First Nations caused by residential schools. He says combating that past is key to preventing addiction in Onion Lake.
It stems from the residential school trauma, their parents experiencing, and that negative, energy is passed on to young people. We have to zero in on that prevention for the young people.
With Onion Lake being focused on addiction treatment and prevention, Jimmy pictures a bright future for First Nations people on the reserve. The warming van in Lloydminster has been helping those in need during this cold winter season. Our Randy Cormish got the opportunity to speak with the co-founder of the van to learn more.
Today, I'm joined by Tigra Lee Campbell, who is the co-founder of the Warming Van here in Lloydminster. And today we're just going to be talking about the van and how that all works. So thank you so much for joining me today. Would you be able to just start off by telling me a bit about the Warming Van and how that all got started?
Yes, so the warming van was the cold weather response that was put forth by the city. Once we can we talk about the not expansion of the men's shelter? So once the expansion kind of got denied, we really needed a response for this winter, either like the drop-in like we had seen prior with the trailer or the Guardian building. But with the time frame that we had to work with, there wasn't, we had to pretty much take what we could get. So the city had come up with this plan, and they asked if we would, they asked a bunch of other community partners to come to the table. So we ended up taking it on. It was a difficult decision because we're a small organization. Many of us work during the day and we have full-time jobs. So we just wanted to make sure that when we took it on, we had the capacity to do it, and that it would run smoothly, which it did. So I'm really happy to hear that. We had great relationships with the bus driver, the security guard that was on, the stakeholders at the city level as well. And then we were able to use our volunteer base to keep it running smoothly every night.
Wow, awesome. Yeah. And how can the community contribute to keeping the van going?
So, hopefully, I don't think that we're gonna have too many more days this year. It is ending March 30th or April 1st, I believe. So we might have a couple days in between here and there. We're always looking for like warm donations. Like I know that we're in February, it is kind of warmer, but it's still pretty chilly. So like hats, mitts, gloves, hand warmers, things like that. And we're always taking monetary donations as well. If you head to our website at lvefoundation.com, there is a donate page there and you can donate that way.
Yeah, awesome. And since the weather was so cold the past few weeks, what were the main challenges keeping the van going and keeping everything operating?
So one of the main challenges was volunteers. Finding volunteers that were able to do a night shift. It was an 8-hour shift, but that went over really smoothly. And then just knowing that we were going to have participants come on the bus that weren't dressed adequately for the weather, or they were hungry, right? So being able to keep up with those necessities and making sure that the van was stocked every night with those items. That did come out of our own budget. Also the um security guard as well, like she was really good at making bag lunches and sandwiches, and same with the driver. I think one night he had also made some sandwiches. So even with those barriers, we were still able to keep it going and still provide these items that kind of seem small in the grand scheme, but they are really important. So yeah, I'm honestly, I was really kind of hesitant at first because I didn't know how it was going to go. It was like the fear of the unknown, like, is this going to be really successful or is it going to fail horribly? But it went really smoothly, like very minimal hiccups along the way. Really great to work with the security guard. It was really great to see the unhoused that we work with in a different time frame. Even like it's a whole different ball game working overnight and like getting to see the community throughout the night as well. So overall, big success. However, with that being said, we still would like to see something more sustainable and more efficient for next year. So yes, it did go smoothly. However, we are looking to see more for next year.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And just overall, what was the most rewarding part about providing this for the people that are in need?
The most rewarding part was we didn't have any deaths in the community this year due to the elements. And to every single night, the participants would say how great of a program this is, how they were so grateful for it. We had people calling to get picked up from wherever they were. They knew that it was a reliable service. And also from my own lived experience, like I've been in the shoes of many that I see. So to know that I'm now on the other side and I can support in this initiative was very powerful for me.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this, and good luck with the van for the rest of the season.
Thanks so much for reaching out. I hope you have a good one.
Lloydminster is continuing to enjoy the beautiful weather this week.
That's right. We're having a great run, especially like after that cold snap so far. It's been beautiful. You can go for a walk and everything.
You really can, yeah.
It's just that perfect weather. It's not too warm and it's not too cold. There's a little bit of slush. You got to be a little careful
little messy
on the sidewalk. The bottom of your pants might have that kind of ring of water around that you don't really love, but I'll take it over -40. It's beautiful weather. That's right. +3 right now in Lloydminster. That wind blowing at 15 kilometers an hour. -1 is how it's feeling with that wind, but still, that's some beautiful weather. Some clouds coming in and out, but overall, just a nice sunny day out here in Lloydminster. And you can see it's about the same everywhere. We're all experiencing a good day. Out in Edmonton, it's +9. Bonnyville and Vegreville are at +4. Lac La Biche +6. Cold Lake and St. Paul are at +5. Vermilion +4. Wainwright 3. Provost 2, and then over in Saskatchewan, a bunch of nice days as well. A little bit cooler in Isla Crosse at -3, but even that is still day and night compared to what we had last week. In Pierceland and Green Lake, it's +3. Meadow Lake and Macklin +1. Maidstone +2. St. Walburg at 0, and North Battleford is at +4. Tonight, North Battleford, it is going to drop down to -6. It's going to be a cloudier night, and that wind will be present. It'll be blowing at about 11 kilometers an hour, so it will feel a little bit cooler tonight in North Battleford. But you know, you got to take the cooler nights with those warmer days. That's just kind of how it is at this time of year, and I'm sure most people will take that over what we've experienced. I don't think any cars are going to have trouble starting tonight North Battleford. Tomorrow it's going to be +3. Breezy with sun and some clouds, and that wind will be quite strong. It'll be blowing at 24 kilometers an hour. So even with those warm days, we of course still have those classic prairie winds out in North Battleford. And tonight in Cold Lake, it's going to be -3. It will be a cloudier night, and that wind will be blowing at 13 kilometers an hour. So it will feel, you know, a little bit cooler than -3. But again, like I said, we'll take it. This is beautiful weather, especially considering it's still February, we're not even officially into spring yet. And in Cold Lake tonight, mostly cloudy and mild at +6 tomorrow, with that wind blowing a little bit less than in North Battleford. Now tonight, Lloydminster, partly cloudy and breezy later in the night at a nice cool -4. So a beautiful night overall throughout the prairies. Now tomorrow it'll be mostly clear at +1, 6 a.m. Then at noon it's going to get up to +3. At 6 p.m. it'll go back down to +2. And then at midnight it will be partly cloudy at -1. So a cloudier day tomorrow, but they will dissipate as the day goes on. Now taking a look at your 3-day forecast, tomorrow will be mainly cloudy and windy with that high of +4 and the low of -4. Thursday will be fully cloudy and that wind will pick up a bit, but the high will be warmer at +6. And then Friday will be breezy in the morning with a high of +2. That is your first look at our evening weather. We'll be back with more news after the break.
The Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup has been awarded to youth hockey teams across the country for 9 years for doing various good deeds for their communities. Our Thomas Wildman has more on the great program.
Today I'm joined by Harner Ryan Singh, an ambassador for Chevrolet Canada, and he's here today to talk about the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. And so thank you so much for joining me today, Harner Ryan. And for those who are unaware, what is the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup?
So the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup is actually in its 9th season, and what it's all about is teaching minor hockey kids across the country about giving back to their community and about serving others. And so while it is a hockey trophy, it's about rewarding minor hockey players for their actions off the ice. And how it works is that minor hockey teams all across Canada can enter this contest to win. And all they have to do is perform good deeds. And it could be, shoveling a neighbor's sidewalk. It could be baking some goodies for a senior's home, or all sorts of different good deeds, whether big or small. But the team that does the most good deeds at the end of the day wins the championship. And Chevrolet awards the winning team $100,000 for the team's charity of choice. But this year, it's also bigger than ever. They're rewarding second and third place, $20,000 and $10,000 as well. And so this is a tournament that kids I've seen firsthand for the past almost a decade that minor hockey kids are just super excited about.
A few years ago, a team from Lloydminster won the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. Tell me a little bit about that team and what was so special about them.
Yeah, the city of Lloydminster has its name engraved on the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. And this, I mean, it's a life-size trophy. It's as big as the Stanley Cup. It's heavy. I've tried to lift it before. But the reason why Lloydminster won back in 2022 was the U13 Blazers, an all-girls team. One of the team parent volunteers was in a wheelchair and wasn't able to volunteer in the timekeeper booth. And so what the team did was they partnered with Inclusion Lloydminster, and they used the money that they won to make their rink more accessible for people of all abilities. And, you know, the team also hosted a tri-para hockey event to bring athletes and participants of all different abilities together on the ice. So Lloydminster is a part of the history of the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. And there are some other Alberta hockey teams that are in the hunt this year. There's actually the KC 510 Knights. They're currently in 4th place and just one spot away from a donation prize.
And finally, if teams are interested in competing in the Good Deeds Cup, where can they go to sign up and also find out some more information?
Yeah, so you just have to perform a good deed, film it, and then post it to either Meta platform, Instagram, or Facebook, and hashtag Good Deeds Cup, mention Chevrolet Canada and contest, and of course your team's name to make sure. And it's all about the most good deeds. So, you know, it can be players on the team, it can be parents, volunteers, as long as your good deed is attributed to your team. And you have until March 6th, and so you just post it, and then there's a live leaderboard on ChevroletGoodDeedsCup.ca, and the team with the most amount of good deeds, $100,000 goes a long way. And you know, these kids, they are learning so much life lessons that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. The experience of winning the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup, I mean, it's full pomp circumstance. They lay out the red carpet for you. The kids are outfitted top to bottom. The arena is all decorated. There's confetti flowing, and we've got celebrities from Hockey Night in Canada and Sportsnet who show up on the winning ceremony. So it's a lot of fun. And, you know, I've seen the kids are just as excited to win this type of a trophy as they would be to win, you know, their league championship.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Harnarayan Singh.
The LCHS Wrestling Club is hosting a fundraiser tonight at Cheers Live starting at 5:30. Our Jackson Fontaine spoke with a coach of the wrestling team to find out some more details.
I'm joined here today with Teresa Stini, who is one of the coaches for the LCHS Wrestling Club. So Teresa, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Jackson.
So the LCHS Wrestling Club is hosting a fundraiser tonight at Cheers Live. So could you just tell me what's going to be happening there?
Yeah, thank you. We were generously donated the facility and Cheers hosting by a Roman at Cheers. So starting at 5:30 tomorrow night, our wrestling team is having a wing night fundraiser. We'll have a silent auction with many donated items. We have a raffle going to go on with 2 tickets to the Battle of Alberta on March 29th with the Oilers versus the Flames. For the wing night at Cheers, it's a come and go event starting at 5:30, where for $25 you'll get a basket of wings and a beverage of your choice, with $10 from every order coming directly back to the wrestling team to help us support our tournament traveling expenses.
And Teresa, is this a ticketed event or can people just show up?
Absolutely. There are tickets. There have been tickets pre-sold. However, if you show up at the door and you want to join in on the festivities, you can definitely do that. Just let them know you're here for the LCHS fundraiser, and you won't need a ticket if you're showing up and paying at the door.
How important would you say it is for clubs in Lloydminster and around Lloyd to host fundraisers like this?
Very important. As it becomes more and more expensive to do anything, I think everybody in our community is aware. We're trying to keep costs as low as possible for student athletes. And so by having the generosity of this community coming together to sponsor this event, it's made a very big impact on our ability to travel. We were hearing we might not be able to travel. We are a small and growing team. So we have 7 athletes that are regularly wanting to attend tournaments. However, we were needing 8 to make enough, to have enough income to cover our expenses. So we've really had great families, great community sponsorship, and fundraisers like this one at Cheers Tuesday night. They're so important to us to be able to do any of these things.
And other than donating to the club, why should people come out to Cheers tonight?
Well, like I said, there's a raffle for 2 tickets to the Oilers game. There's an Oilers game on. I mean, eating wings, having a beverage, hanging out, watching an Oilers game in a community event like that, it's always going to be a fun time. We would just appreciate any support from anyone in the community. Wrestling is, like I said, kind of emerging in Lloydminster. We have the high school team that's been going for a few years now, and there's a club running out of the Fight Farm, Border City Badgers Club. So, I mean, it's just really starting to grow in our community. And if more funds we can get, the more we can get the infrastructure down to be able to continue to grow this club.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a great turnout, and hopefully you guys raise quite a bit of money to make those trips to tournaments. Teresa, thank you for doing this today.
A California startup is really taking off after showcasing its long-awaited prototype for a flying car. The company held a demonstration of its car lifting off and flying for about 40 seconds before landing and driving away. The company has been working on the fully electric vehicle for more than 3 years. It's hoping to begin production next year with a very hefty price tag, around $300,000. It's now time to take a look at your adorable animals in our pet pics of the day.
Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Get ready to thaw out your funny bone as the Snowed In comedy tour is coming to Lloydminster on Thursday. Our Starte Lazo brings us more with one of their comedians.
Today I'm joined by comedian Dan Quinn, and we're going to be talking about their upcoming Snowed In comedy tour that's happening here in Lloydminster on Thursday, February 27th at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. Thank you so much for joining me today, Dan.
Oh, thank you for having me.
First off, you guys have a comedy tour here in Lloydminster on Thursday. So first of all, what are you excited the most about that?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the turnout has grown in Lloyd. You know, we started out, it wasn't the best turnout the first year or so, and then people that came enjoyed it, brought their friends, and it's been growing steadily. And I think this is going to be our biggest turnout yet, which is pretty close to like probably 85% of the venue. And it's a beautiful venue, the Vic Juba, beautiful theater, like really well done. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting place, and we're looking forward to performing for the crowd.
Absolutely. And how has the tour been for you guys?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I think it's one of our best shows. There's 4 of us on the show, and you know, every year we were at a brand new show, so we don't know what anybody else is doing. We're gonna go off and then we come together and you know, see how it fits together. And it's a really well balanced show. There's a little bit of something for everybody on it. Yeah, really proud of the show. It's been getting fantastic response, and some people saying it's our best one yet. So you know, that's always exciting to keep trying to improve from the year before. You know.
Absolutely. And so how do you guys prepare for tours and even shows?
So a lot of it, like, you know, this tour, like I said, it's a brand new show. So, you know, before we go on this tour, we're all off and we live in different places in different cities. So we're working, trying to write the material and work on the material and make it better and get it ready for this tour. So a lot of little rooms around town, or playing comedy clubs in different cities, doing different things to try and get ready, you know, and make the show kick butt, you know.
What can fans expect from the show, such as style of comedy? Are you going to stick to your usual style, or did you plan on maybe trying out different other styles of comedy?
Well, we'll be doing, you know, what we kind of do normally, which is, for the most part, we're all storytellers. So it's very personal, talking about our lives. You know, mine is very relationship-based. So is Erica's, which is a male perspective. Then you got the female perspectives. That creates good balance. Pete likes to do a lot of impressions and accents. He's very, very good at them. And then Paul kind of delves a bit more into the silly style of storytelling. So it all starts with a story, but then we each have our own unique perspective on that story. So, you know, the great thing about our show, it's not a headliner and an opener, it's 4 comics, and each one, you know, holds on its own. So the overall sum becomes much greater than its parts.
Absolutely. And is there anything else that fans should be on the lookout for after this?
Yeah, they can check us out. You know, also, even if they can't make the show, we've got a lot of stuff online on YouTube with the Snowden Comedy Tour or Instagram. Our Instagram page has really been blowing up the last few weeks. So there's lots of videos and stuff. They can check us out before they come to the show. You know, everybody, we're not for everybody. You know, we're not a dirty show or anything like that, but, you know, we do swear occasionally. You know, I think we're just very regular people type stuff. So, you know, if somebody's like can't handle that, you know, an adult word, then maybe it's not the show for them. But, you know, you can look at all our materials online and stuff like that. And it's pretty close. You'll see who we are from that. But it's very real comedy, you know, so that's what people kind of get out of us, very honest and real of who we are and who we are as people. So I think that's what makes it special as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it sounds like a very exciting show, and I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, thank you again for joining me today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Coming up after the break, our Lane Hoffert will have another look at our evening weather forecast.
Welcome back. Here's a second look at your evening weather. It's a beautiful day out in Lloydminster, +2 right now, and that wind blowing a little bit at 15 kilometers an hour. You can definitely feel it outside. That's making it feel a little bit closer to -2. So even though those winds are a little bit on the stronger side, it's still not having a big impact on that temperature. A beautiful day out. You can see everywhere is experiencing similar temperatures in Athabasca and Whitecourt, as well as Jasper. It's +8. Edson and Rocky Mountain House are at +7. Edmonton +9 and Red Deer +6. Cold Lake is at 5 degrees. Prince Albert and North Battleford are at 4. Melfort and Saskatoon at 2, and Meadow Lake at 1. A little bit cooler as we move up north. Uranium City is at -13, Stony Rapids -15, and Wollaston Lake are at -14. La Loche and Buffalo Narrows are at -5, South End Reindeer at -7, and Flin Flon at -3. High Level is -9, Fort Chipewyan -13, Fort McMurray -6, Peace River -1, Slave Lake +3, and Grand Prairie -5. And Banff is +5, Calgary and Medicine Hat +10, Lethbridge 8, and Coronation 2. Kindersley is -1, Moose Jaw and Regina are at +1. Yorkton, Swift Current, and Estevan are all at +2. So warmer in the south, but still a little bit cooler in northern Saskatchewan and Alberta. Now let's take a look at your evening travel forecast. In Meadow Lake and Bonnyville, it's -3 tonight. Provost will be -5, and Isle La Crosse and Paradise Hill -4. There's going to be some snow in Meadow Lake and Isle La Crosse. Now taking a look at some more temperatures throughout the region. In Murnum and Pierceland, it will be -3. Unity and Wainwright -5, and Calgary will be at 0. There's going to be a bit of ice later on tonight in Pierceland, but other than that, it looks like some good nights all throughout Alberta and Saskatchewan. Now taking a look at the 7-day forecast, you can see we do have a beautiful week up ahead, and that nice weather won't be stopping this week. Tomorrow will be mainly cloudy and windy with that high of +4, and then Thursday will be more cloudy, but the high will balance that out. It'll be +6. So we got some cloudier days, but still a bit of sun, and that temperature above 0 for the most part. So we do have a beautiful week ahead.
It is nice to see, especially considering the fact that only 2 weeks ago it was cold advisory warnings left, right, and center. So it is quite nice to have now.
It's that extreme prairie weather, just one extreme all the way to the other.
Exactly, you get it. But that is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.